Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
The broadcast is now on Spotify.
It's been a little bit since I've seen a scary stories thread, and I'm in the mood for some spook. They don't have to be about anything paranormal, but I'm sure people will get upset if they aren't.
I really want to share this, even when my English is bad. This is something that happened to me when I moved to an old house many years ago. For the context, my room is on the second floor. My parents' room was next to mine. On the first is the kitchen and dining room. There is a small garden in the back of the house. My room has a window that faces it, and in the middle of the garden, there is this huge Norfolk pine. Be me, 11 years old. I woke up after having a nap in the afternoon. I was surprised because normally I could only sleep at night. It was 6 p.m. and I realized I was alone, so I took my father's laptop from his room and took it to my room to use it. 8 p.m. My father had this strict rule not to let me use the laptop after 7 p.m., so I was attentive to anyone who came to leave it where it was quickly. Suddenly, I heard my sister's voice from the garden saying, "Anon, Dad just got back." Very surprised since I didn't hear her when she arrived, and also that her voice was pretty near, but I couldn't care less at that moment. I was more worried about leaving the laptop where it was, so that my father would not yell at me. I left the laptop as fast as possible and went back to my room. I realized that all the lights were off, and I couldn't remember if I had turned them on when I left my room the first time. Waited about 10 minutes for them to come up, but they never did. So I thought they had brought something to eat and they were in the kitchen. I go downstairs. All the lights were off. Where the fuck are they? Starting to get angry, thinking that my sister just pulled a prank on me. Before entering the kitchen, I saw my dog sleeping on the floor. That's weird. Rufus always wakes up to greet my sister or dad when they get home. Go back to my room thinking that my sister is hiding in the dining room and just wants to scare me. My phone rings. It's my sister. "Anon, please tell Dad that I'm gonna sleep at cousin's house today." And just when I was about to shout at her that I knew she was downstairs, I can hear clearly in the background the sound of my cousins and uncle laughing. "Where are you?" "At Uncle's house. It's cousin's birthday. Why do you sound so weird?" Finish the call. I actually turned the lights on the first time that I left my room. I saw my dog sleeping because actually no one had come back yet to the house. I realized that I heard my sister not calling me from the garden, but from the pine. Get scared shitless. Something scratched my door. Can't even scream, too scared. I just let out a weird sound. It is actually my dog. As quickly as my body could, I opened the door and grabbed my dog, closed the door and tried really hard, since I was shaking furiously, to play the Beatles from my MP4. For some reason, when I listen to the Beatles, it always calms me. Hear my sister calling me again. It is actually coming from the fucking pine. My heart was beating so hard and I couldn't move because of fear. My dog is staring at the window. It's getting so cold. Hear someone open my home's front door. It's my dad. Run like a madman and hug him. "Anon, what's happening? You're sweating so much." He tries to calm me down as I try to tell him what happened. We go to the garden. The light is on. There is nothing. My dad says, "Why is it so cold? Shh. Let's go upstairs, Anon. You can sleep in my room tonight." Nothing happened that night. In the morning, my dad was very serious and was near me the whole day. 2 weeks later, when I was talking to my dad, we talked about what happened that night. I asked him why he was so serious the next day, and he told me that when we were in the garden, he clearly heard my mother's voice calling him. And that night he swore to have heard my mother saying, "Hey, Dad's name, where is my son? I want to see him." Even when a lot of weird shit has happened to us in that house, this was the scariest of all.
Be like 11. Granddad just passed, Alzheimer's. Mom and my nan and my aunt decided to put him out of his misery. Mom apparently insisted on it. Uncle is pretty salty about this, and their relationship isn't the same today because of it. They didn't consult or ask him. 2 weeks later, going through the hallway downstairs. The front door opens as my dad is washing the car. Dad goes inside as I walk into the hallway. Half of the driveway is obscured by the door. Granddad walks up the driveway in his red sweatshirt he always wore. Freak out. Go back into the kitchen. Go into the driveway with Dad saying I saw someone. Dad doesn't see shit and goes back to the kitchen. 1 week before this, Mom and me in the kitchen. The kettle comes on randomly. She asks if I turned it on. I say no. She talks about Granddad haunting us. Spooky shit.
Here's one for you. High school senior. My bedroom door sticks really bad. Have to twist the knob all the way and yank to open it. Because it sticks, it makes a loud thud when opened. My mom hated when I would try to nap during the day, so if she didn't hear me for a while, she would come to my room, and if I was trying to nap, she would wake me up. I had trouble sleeping at night, and she thought napping would make it worse. Really annoying. Occasionally, my door would bang open on its own. Not a big deal, but also annoying because of the noise. Startling. But never opened more than what you would consider as ajar. A lot of /x/ related crap had been happening in my house since I was little, so by now I'd gotten used to that and just ignored it. One day after school, trying to take a nap. Tired of my mom waking me up, so I close and lock the door. Just as I was about to fall asleep and had that falling sensation, the door swings open. All the way open. From being closed and locked. Thud. Wakes me right up and scares the shit out of me. I look and there's nobody in the doorway. Mom? No answer. Did you wake me up? Nothing. Walk around the house. Nobody's home. Okay then. I'm tired of the door opening by itself and done with all the shit that happens in my house. I stand in the doorway and start talking to whatever I think is messing with me. I don't know what you are or who you are, but you need to stop. I don't mean to threaten you if you lived here before me and think I'm in your home, but I live here now and I have no ill will. If you're a spirit that means me harm, then get the fuck out of my house. You have no power over me. Get out now. 5 years later, nothing has happened in my house while I've been there. Although my mom says she would consistently hear footsteps coming from that part of the house when I was away at college.
I'll post a few of my old stories from my first job too. Work at a small store that sells imported goods. Really close-knit staff. Everybody knows everybody else. Very friendly workplace. Most of us know the place is haunted. We all have our own stories or experiences. Work closing shifts a lot, so it's very often just me and 2 other people in the store. I do recovery a lot during this time, basically just straightening shelves after customers wreck the store. Constantly see movement out of the corner of my eye, but never anybody there. One time I decide to follow it, nothing really better to do. It actually leads me somewhere, specifically to the warehouse in the back, which is reportedly the most haunted place in the store. Feels weirdly cold back there, like seeing your breath cold. Not into it? Leave the warehouse and go see if the supervisor is done in her office so we can leave. She's almost done, and we leave soon after. Working another night shift, nothing weird happening this time. Supervisor gets a call. Someone working in another store across the street says she saw someone in a red shirt enter our warehouse from outside. Not in my store. Grab a broom, 'cause it's the only thing resembling a weapon, and storm over to the warehouse. Nobody there. Nobody in the rest of the store. Use critical thinking skills to determine that nobody can enter the warehouse from outside. The door locks on, its own when closed, has an alarm that goes off when opened unless a key is used from the inside, and doesn't even have a handle on the outside. What the fuck did they see enter the store? Thinking on it now even more, no store in the shopping center has a view of our warehouse, and they didn't give my manager specifics of what store they called from or who they were.
All right, crazies, I have one. Be me. 19, just got to 1st Marine Corps unit. Put in one of the older barracks because boot. Old barracks are all notoriously haunted. I have had a lot of spooks on duty before, but this is one that stands out to me. Saturday morning. Okay, time to shave, lift, and go drink with bros. Start shaving. Yee. This is gonna be a fun day. Begin feeling a presence in the room. Something is watching me. Keep shaving whatever, I'm a tough Marine, don't care. Feel something approach me from behind. Stop shaving and put the razor down. Look in the mirror. Nothing. Turn around to look around the room. Nothing. Start shaving again. I will never forget this. Suddenly I hear an inch from my ear a long, deep whispery, ah. Not a scream, but one of those sounds you make when you drink really good hot coffee. Nope. .jpg, throw razor, and run out of room with half face shaved and shaving cream all over me. Jump downstairs to the 2nd deck where bros stay. Bust their door open. There was, I don't know, fucking breathed in my ear, ghost. I was shaving and my bros all start laughing and I calm down and explain what happened. We all went back up to my room and searched around. No more presents. Back to normal. Finished shaving. Rest of the day went on like normal. Never had another problem again. I moved rooms a few weeks after this randomly, but nothing ever happened again. Many people have taken their own lives in them, so maybe it was some old sergeant ghost targeting me. I'm really not sure.
I live right by the woods. Backyard merges into woods. One summer I was in the habit of going for a walk a few hours before sunset. Usually came back as it was turning dark. One night I stayed at one of my spots for an hour or two after it got dark. Family got concerned. Dad shouted my name from the backyard at the tree line a few times. Barely heard him and returned home. Busy for the next 2 days and don't go for my walk. The next time I went for my walk, everything was like normal. Hang out a while at one of my spots. It gets dark. Right before it's about to get completely pitch black, I get up to leave when I hear something that gave me the weirdest shock. It was my dad's voice shouting my name. But it wasn't coming from the direction of our property. It was coming from deeper in the woods. It called again. Dave? Dave? Just like my dad would call for me. basically freak out internally standing in one spot. I know for a fact my dad is actually working late and won't be home till much later. There's no way in hell he'd just randomly be in the woods and calling me. Once the complete impossibility of it really happening hits me, I take off running at top speed. Couldn't see anything. Still legging it like my life depended on it. Felt like I was flying down the trails. Somehow my feet knew every little ditch, rock, branch, etc. Finally get home. Heart is pounding like crazy. Calm down a little. Out of breath, ask my mom, "Is Dad home?" She says, "What?" "I told you earlier. He is working late. He won't be home till 2 or 3 a.m. Never tell her or anyone else in the family what happened. Never stayed in the woods after dark again.
I have a story. It was probably sleep paralysis, but it scared the shit out of me when it happened. Whatever it was, never had sleep paralysis before or after this occurred. Here you go. Be me, college junior, living in a dorm room with 2 other people. Our bedroom door didn't close enough for the pin to click in the door frame so you could just push it open. There were no gaps, though. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, you could just push our door open. We didn't care since we lived in the building farthest away from campus all the way up a hill at the edge of the woods, and our front door worked right. Thought we were pretty safe. Roommate's bunk bed directly across from the door against the opposite wall in the middle of the room. My bed along the same wall. The foot of my bed met the head of theirs. Close the door enough. Go to bed. Asleep. Got class in the morning, but at like 10:30, so not bad. Just me. Wake up to like 1 bar of painfully loud music. Sounded like someone was using a boombox in the hallway right in front of our bedroom door. Nobody in our suite likes that shit. None of us have a boombox. None of us are Dejan shitheads who would wake each other up at 5 like that. Eyes open. Music stops. I sit up in bed and look toward the door. Nothing. Door's closed. This is when I start panicking. The door goes from closed to halfway open without moving. There's a figure standing in the doorway that looks like it's made of shadows swirling around each other. The doorway was probably about 6.5 to 7 feet tall. I'm 6 foot and have plenty of headroom standing in it. This shadow thing standing there had to hunch over to fit in the doorway while it looked around the room. The hallway behind this shadow bastard was pitch black. There were no lights in the suite, and the blinds were closed in the living room across the suite, which faced trees and a canyon. Pitch black, but for these light rays like you see when you unfocus your eyes, but they were thicker and they were black. These illuminated the fucker hunched over in my doorway, looking around the room. It stood on 2 legs, had 2 arms, a head, like a person, but everything was longer and very sleek while the shadows gave it this awful moving texture. No. Sitting up, I tried to scream to wake up my roommates because there was a 7-foot-tall demon lurking in our doorway. No sound came out. Try to roll out of bed to either shake them awake or confront the thing in my doorway. Doesn't work. I just flop onto my side at the edge of the bed. Can't move. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going to watch my roommates die. Then I'm gonna die. Great. Thankfully. The thing disappears, the dark light is gone, and the door is now closed. All of this without any motion. Confused and tired, I thought to myself something like, okay, that's good. Go back to sleep. Morning. Wake up 30 minutes late for class. Go to class. Professor asks why I'm so late. Tell him I'll explain in his office after class. Couldn't come up with a reasonable lie, so I told him all of this. He just says, "Oh." I say, "Yeah." I leave.
Be me, several years ago, high school student. Mom and I just moved out of my grandparents' house, only a block or two away from them. Mom is really close with my grandma. They go shopping and stuff a lot, so I'm home alone semi-often. Decide to shower while alone one night because it was particularly hot when walking home from school. While I'm showering, I hear people talking. Assume it's my mom on the phone or something. She's a very loud talker. Get out of the shower. It's very quiet. No TV or typing or anything. Look around for my mom. Her car isn't in the driveway. Realize I never heard my dog bark like someone came to the house. On edge, looking around the house on high alert. A week or so passes, and I barely remember hearing talking. Home alone again, chilling with my dog. Doing homework or something, I don't know. I just remember it was quiet. No TV or anything on. Hear rattling in the kitchen. What the fuck is my cat doing now? Go investigate, definitely not my cat. Sounds like the entire contents of the cupboards are vibrating. Ceramic and glass clinking together. Point is, it's very loud and very distinct. Open the cupboard, it stops. Everybody thinks I was hearing things or it was a mouse. Nothing happened after that. I'm still not sure what it was. I don't have a history of auditory hallucinations or anything, and I'm pretty sure the only previous owner of the house moved out into a retirement home, so there were no deaths I'm aware of.
I've never typed this up before, so I'm not sure how it'll turn out, but I want to keep this thread going, so here's something that happened in a building at my college. Summer going into college. With a group doing a scavenger hunt, running out of time on the last thing to find. We split up and agreed to meet back at the final spot thing, whatever it's called, in 15 minutes. I thought the clue alluded to the math building. Go to math building. I know nothing about this place yet. When I reach the stairs, I get this feeling like something is right behind me. Brush it off and go up the stairs. On the second floor, the building has 3 floors. First 2 are classroom floors. Third floor is offices. Out of the stairwell now, and the feeling persists like something is right behind me. I'm not turning around. Go room to room, but most are locked. Feeling creeped out, so I'm just poking my head into the ones that are open. The farther into the hall I get, the stronger the feeling gets. By the time I'm in the middle of the hallway, I have an overwhelming sense of dread. Like I'm in a sphere of eyes staring at me with malice, watched from all possible sides. Not a good feeling. I don't know if this feeling's just in my head or if there's something there that wishes me harm. I assume the second option. Start moving quickly through the rest of the building, but make a point not to run. Feeling grows until I'm out of the building. Get outside, feel fine, run to the meeting spot. I asked some people in the math department individually if they'd ever experienced anything weird in that building when they were late at night to study. The building has a lounge, specifically for math majors to go to 24/7. Each of them said that they would hear whispers when they were there alone, and that they hate going there without other people.
This was quite a few years back. I'm in Wyoming with a job as an archaeologist for the Bureau of Land Management. I don't really know the state, I'm just passing through. I lived in Lander. It's an okay town, but there's nothing much to do. Eventually, I got in the habit of driving to Casper on the weekends. High Points, a bookstore, Chinese restaurant, and some bars that aren't strictly country and western. So I'd spend some time in Casper, and then drive back to Lander. Then, one weekend, I spent a little more time in Casper than I expected. I was delayed by chatting with a college girl. It went well, but not as good as I'd hoped. So it's late by the time I get on the road. Miles pass. I'm dead tired, and those Wyoming roads can be empty as all hell. Eventually, I decide that I'm going to wreck if I don't pull over and get some sleep. The Bureau of Land Management has a visitors center near a geographical oddity. It's really just a parking lot, a public toilet, and some trailheads. Dead tired, I pull into the lot and park the car. The place is empty. There's next to no traffic on the highway. I lean back in my seat and go to sleep. Sometime later, I'm not sure how long, I woke up. The car was shaking. Convinced that my car was rolling, I grabbed for the handbrake. It's already set. The shaking stops. It's dark, really dark. I can't see anything outside of my car. I get out and the dome light shows a little of what's around me. Not a lot to see. I'm parked in the parking lot. But something's wrong. I look carefully around. Nothing to see. No noise. That's when I realize that the car's not how I remember parking it. It's in roughly the same place, but it's turned around 180 degrees. I clearly remember pulling into park, but now the car's nose is turned around the other way and facing the entrance. It would have taken some maneuvering to do that, but I didn't do anything like that. Shit. I get in the car and get the hell out of there. The sun rises fairly soon after I get on the road. If I have my times right, I was asleep for something like 6 hours. In a damn car. I never sleep that well in a car.
I want to keep this thread going, but I don't think I have many instances that would make for good stories. Here's one. Summer during college. Working at a pizza place. Shift is 5 p.m. to closing. Grandparents live near me. Been staying at their place for a little while since they had a nice big house and sweet dog. Also, they are also very nice. One day before work, I decided to go pick up the clothes I had there and take them to my own place. Let me describe the house first. I always go in through the garage, which leads into an open kitchen/living room. Kitchen on the left, living room on the right. Their dog is usually hanging out on the couch on the very far end of the living room facing the door I would come in through. Hallway on the left past the kitchen, and next to a door leading down to the basement, where they have a small generator for when the power goes out. My clothes are upstairs. Stairs are directly above the basement. Get to my grandparents' house. Honestly, not 100% sure what day it was since it was summer, and I didn't need to care. Just knew I had work at 5. Grandma volunteers on Wednesdays. Workaholic Grandpa works every weekday. Park out front. Grandpa's truck isn't there. Of course. Grandma's car is there, so I think maybe she's home, but feel like she probably isn't, because my grandpa may have dropped her off somewhere. Go inside through the garage. Grandma? No answer. Hi, puppy. Dog's relaxing on the couch. Feels like someone is in the house, but everything is very still. The dog doesn't leave the couch. Grandma? Again, no answer. Okay, weird. Start to get a strange feeling like someone is definitely here with me. Pass the basement door and go into the hallway. Up the stairs. Grandma? Nope. Poke my head into her bedroom. Nope. Kind of feeling spooked out. But it's probably just in my head since I've been walking around the house looking for someone who's not home. Whatever. Grab my clothes and go back downstairs. Once I get to around where the kitchen and living room meet, I call one last time. Grandma? This time I get an answer from my left, where the basement door is. Yeah? Sounds just like my grandma. Confused. Why didn't she ever answer before? So I say again, Grandma? The voice responds again definitely from the basement door. What? This time it's a little less like her voice, and sounds like there's something in its throat. I ask, where are you? The voice responds, down here now, with even more rocks in its throat, and less like my grandma. I need to stop and say that I had never once heard a voice before this. and I have never heard any voices after this, so I was trying not to shit myself, especially after having the feeling of not being alone throughout the house. I should have just left immediately, but instead I asked, "Down where?" It then said, not at all like my grandma, "Down here. Come down here." That's it. I'm done. Said bye to the dog who had been staring at me the whole time. Walked calmly but quickly out the door, then out of the garage. Called my grandma as soon as I was outside and in the sun. "Hi, where are you right now?" She was volunteering. My grandpa had dropped her off, then went to work. Told her about what had just happened and asked her if she ever saw or heard anything in the house. "Oh yeah, all the time. There's a tall shadow that stands in the corner of my bedroom at night sometimes, but it's okay, it watches over me." "Oh, okay."
Live in apartments because I'm poor, grew up in them, and all of the tenants knew each other really well. We all considered each other friends of the family. I think I was like 13 or 14 when this happened. One night, my dad was smoking on the porch since I live on the second floor. He was talking with two neighbors while I was trying to get in on the conversation too. The garage is in the back and it's lit. Suddenly, one of the neighbors looks towards her car and just stares at it like 100-yard stare type shit. I followed her gaze and looked over to where her van was parked. There was a lady in white robes just standing there, looking at us like it was something out of the Ring movie. My neighbor motions the other neighbor and my dad to look over. It's still fucking there, just looking at us. It doesn't say a word, and all of us just stare at it. I didn't see her face. I saw the white dress, but the garage sorta blocked her face since she was tucked in the back. It slowly moves sideways to the other cars. One of the neighbors is a really skinny Mexican old lady that curses the ghost in Spanish. I grew up with this lady, so I understood a bit of what she was saying. Once it reaches my dad's purple work truck, it just disappears. We all laugh about it. I think we were just trying to find comfort in what just happened. These apartments are really fucked up. My best friend, who lives next to me on the second floor, once said he saw me go up the stairs and into my apartment, since I have to pass by his window to get to my door, but I was still in school, and he just got home. He literally swears it was me because I was wearing a yellow hoodie. My mom and brother also talk about how there is a little boy that runs up and down the stairs constantly at night. Most of those neighbors have moved out, and I don't really come here /x/, but I'm just reminiscing.
Sorry for shitty formatting. I'm new to 4chan and it's late. It's a long one, so buckle up, fellas. Be me, a little 5-year-old. I'm hanging out at my cousin's house in the historical district of my hometown. This place is a royal shithole built in the 20s and covered in lead paint. I'm playing video games when my little cousin says he's found something cool in the upstairs closet. The upstairs is a finished attic with a large wooden door leading to a closet. It's currently occupied by my older cousin. We grab our Buzz Lightyear flashlight and head up the stairs to find the closet door is blocked by a large, heavy dresser. Me and my cousin muster all of our little kid strength to inch the dresser out enough that we can squeeze through. Climbing over a pile of clothes, we find a small wooden door locked with one of those cheap little screw-in latches. Behind the door is an empty crawl space, which upon entry my cousin asks, "Isn't this cool? I guess." Then I notice the piece of plywood leaned up against the wall. Behind the board is a rather small hole in the wall leading to a smaller part of the roof. I squeeze in and am greeted by the smell of burnt hair. My cousin follows suit and his light lands on a pentagram painted on the wall in a red liquid. Get overwhelmed with dread and nope out of there. Flash forward a decade and a half, talking about spooky shit with my girlfriend. Remember the attic? Hell, I don't know. Maybe I made that up when I was little or saw it in a movie. Call my little cousin and ask if he remembers what we saw in the hidden space. Yeah, the devil sign or whatever. Next, I got into contact with my older cousin who was living in the room at the time. He tells me that the reason the dresser was pressed up against the closet was because every night there would be knocking on the other side of the door. He still takes the door off the closet wherever he lives now. The crazy thing is that ever since I started talking about that event, I've noticed knocking on the door at night. It happens late at night. Sometimes the knob will turn and the door will open just a crack. Thought it would stop after I got to college. It hasn't. I've also been diagnosed with depression and no amount of meds or talk therapy seems to help.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.